How much are you looking to raise? Often.
Well, as much as possible. I mean, the banks are worth like $120 billion or something of that order of magnitude. So there's quite a lot of money to be going around. As much as possible. What you've got to ask yourself is, what's reasonable for me? If you're long, you want to hedge. How much, how much are you prepared to stake on a hedge that is going to work if your longs fail? So basically, Taleb says 15% of your bankroll. Well, it's typically, he puts 15% of his bankroll into these insurances. So 15% of your long position, at the least. You shouldn't have a long position, actually. 15% of your bankroll should be engaged in some kind of insurance.
Well, that brings up a good point. I mean, the banks are the bankers to the economy. What you're talking about is Armageddon. What you're talking about is basically 1990 Westpac going bust, $2 a share or better, nationalisation of the Australian banking system. Right? What we're seeing in the US right now.
Yeah.
And if that happens, you don't have the view on gold, fair enough. But if that happens, it doesn't matter which sector you pick in the Australian stock exchange, it's all going down.
Yeah. Most of it, some of it's going to be safer than others. So, you've got agriculture. In agriculture, you've got a situation where the banks are failing around the world. Farmers need bankers a lot to provide the capital to put the seeds in the ground. Some farmers in the world are not going to be able to get the money they need to sow the crop. The harvest is not going to be there. Something like 7 of the last 9 years or 7 of the last 8 years, the world grain harvest has been less than consumption. We're eating. So what's going to happen? We're going to have a poor harvest this year because some farmers are not going to be able to fund the crop. Then the next year, the struggle for fertilisers is going to be immense. So you can go along fertilisers. There are some things that won't be destroyed. There are quite a lot of things that will be destroyed. And this is this isn't just America. This is America, Switzerland lost basically Swiss banks, the most conservative, the most gnomish banks in the world, lost more money in the last 18 months than they ever made in their entire history. Iceland, need I say more? Iceland means bank failure. It doesn't mean company, it doesn't mean country, it means banking failure. Ireland, all of the banks are nationalised. America, these people aren't on the same intellectual kind of level as Gail Kelly. They're not that good, and they're getting nationalised. Spain is eviscerated. The UK is eviscerated. This is highly precedented. This is actually the most likely thing. And the other thing is, of course, it's being handicapped by people that believe in the efficient market hypotheses. So you're getting an incorrect handicap. You know what I mean? It's like you flip a coin, and if it lands on heads, you lose all your money. If it lands on tails, you make $10. It's a dollar bet. What do? You do that all day long. You don't care if you lose. You do that bet all day long. This is the key to the guy who was the most confident guy in America that I met. Harvesting. You put these bets out. You flick them. Do it all day long. As long as you're getting paid better than the odds, just keep them flicking.
Rolly, I get it. If you have the right infrastructure, if you have the right company structure, the right infrastructure, if you have the right...
Well, I don't know if...
I understand that's not your forte, but if you've got the right person...
I don't know anything about companies. But that'll be handled by people that do, basically. Each element will be handled by people that understand what they're doing. Did anyone want to know the chance of okay, the chance of seeing in advance that what I said. This little ditty was written 3 weeks to my boss in America. It was written 3 weeks before Soros had his meeting at Southampton's, and it makes it pretty clear that the Wales beach should go short. Basically, I came to the same conclusion as Soros, and at the time, Goldman Sachs, which I respect, relatively, said that the chance of that happening was basically a 25 standard deviation event, which is 1 being certain, 0 being totally impossible. When the Indians came up with 0, they had to explain it. It was a new concept. The way they said 0 is they said, okay, you're talking to something that doesn't have 0. The chance of Roland picking up a girl on a Friday. Anyway, it's impossible. Goldman Sachs had it at 0.0 with 138 zeros before the 6. Highly unlikely to happen. Anyway, 3 weeks before Forrest, Band of Brothers got together, I said this is going to happen. We didn't actually get handicapped that well, but we got handicapped pretty well. Any other questions?